Hey there, Dojo Nation. Randy Reed. How you doing? It's time for Coffee and a Tip with the Karate Guy. This week we've got three things we're going to talk about. Number one, we're going to talk a little bit about sailing a boat. We're going to talk about what our good friend with the CDC, Fauci, said the other day, in case you missed that. And I'm going to explain to you, I ended up with over 20 martial arts schools and 4,000 plus students at one point. I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. Stay tuned. Randy Reed, Coffee and a Tip with the Karate Guy. Let's talk about sailing. Let's talk about boats and sailors. There's an old saying, the calm seas do not make great sailors. What does that mean? That means times are tough. When times get tough, we develop skills that make us better. COVID's been very, very, very difficult for a lot of people, but I'm also seeing a lot of people who have developed new skills, new attitudes, new programs, a lot of things that they wouldn't have done if this had not come by. I was talking with one of my black belts the other day, and I said, "Man, remember back when all we had to do was teach?" And we thought, whoa, we're working so hard. We'll be so happy when we can just get back to that. I think we'll have a new appreciation of what we used to have. On that same note, the other day, now this Dr. Fauci, you may or may not like him. I kind of follow him because he seems like the one guy that might have a little bit of a handle on it. Now he vacillates back and forth because he can only make decisions based on the data he gets, and the data he's been getting hasn't been that good. So hopefully we're getting better at the data. The question they asked him was, somebody had said, do you think a vaccine could be out as early as October? And he said, and he's always a Debbie Downer type guy. He's never overly optimistic. So what he did say was, he said, it's possible, but highly unlikely in October. But then he did say, it's more likely it's going to be November or December. Now listen, all things considered, if we had to wait till December, we could probably make it. If it comes in October, hallelujah to everyone. So my point on this is, don't stop your marketing. Make sure you're still marketing. Make sure you are seeding your field and nurturing that, getting ready for the harvest. I just worked with one of my black belts in the last couple of weeks. We've got them almost 4,000 video views of their program, which means we've got 4,000 pixels to retarget when things start. We'll be retargeting them now, but we're really going to crush them when things loosen back up again. So make sure you haven't stopped your marketing. Make sure that you're not going to be that school owner that's a month late. Oh boy, the schools are back open. Everybody's opening back up. All the restrictions are off. Time to start marketing. You're going to be way behind at that schedule. So think ahead. Make sure you have some plans. Plan for your holiday parties or whatever we're doing. Let's start planning to be successful again. I'm really excited. Before I forget, a quick announcement. Thursday, this coming Thursday, I'll put it right below here, the date. I'm going to do a webinar with Mr. Jeff Cork. Now, he had 500 plus students back in February, and he has kept 90% of them. So we're going to go over the strategies he used, how he did it, but more importantly, we're going to go what he did before this hit that allowed him to stay that successful and to be so powerful going forward from here. All right, so people ask me about my former life when I was the president of the largest martial arts organization that Wisconsin's ever seen, Karate America. I started it back in 85, 86, something like that. And it grew to be by far the biggest thing this fine town or fine state has seen, and one of the biggest ones in the country. How did I do it? Well, back in the day when I started my first school back in '79, I lived in the bottom of the school, and I only cared about one thing: competition. And as I spent every weekend in competition, I was running into a gentleman named Mr. John Worley. He was one of June Ree's top students, had been a top instructor for him, and him and his brother and a couple other guys had moved to Minneapolis, which is close to La Crosse, Wisconsin, and had started schools. Now, these guys in 1979, nobody knew anything about running a martial arts school except these guys. They were just on a whole nother level. The way they carried themselves, the way they conducted themselves, they were professionals. Hadn't seen it before. It was stunning. They even wore a different colored uniform. They wore, back then it was blue ones. Now they have red ones. Back in the old days, it was white and maybe a black one. So these guys would walk into the tournament. They looked like the Navy SEALs coming in. So I competed against their guys. And through that, I got to know Mr. Worley. And he invited me up a couple times to watch their schools. And I'm living in the basement of this dive karate school, and I'm seeing these magnificent professional schools. You see them all the time now, but back then they weren't around. And over an extended period of time, I worked my way in to his good graces, and he took me under his wing as a mentor. And for the next 10 years, I probably called Mr. Worley 3 times a week. And he helped me get from where I was to the next level. And over the years, and it was a lot of years, I got to where I felt I was close business-wise to understanding what he was doing, and my numbers were getting close. And I'll be forever thankful to Mr. Worley. Now, from there, I went on, who's the next guy that's ahead of me? I didn't care if they were in Arizona, Florida, California. I'd go anywhere, Texas, anywhere I thought somebody was doing a better job than I was doing. And I would find them, I would hire him as a mentor, and I would work to the next step. Once I caught that son of a gun, I'd go until I heard about somebody else, and I'd go find them. And I would bring that back to Wisconsin, and it allowed me to be a step ahead of everybody else in those days. And we were able to open a lot of locations. The point being, when I was learning from these other great mentors, what I didn't do was try to mess around with their system. When they had a system, I followed it to the T. I see so many people who invest a lot of money with mentors, then they try to adjust the recipe and it doesn't work. And guess what? They say the mentor makes bad soup. It doesn't work that way. You have to listen till you caught them. I've had lunch with people that have 40, 50 students, and they're explaining me how to run a martial arts school. And I'm like, well, I appreciate your advice, but you might want to wait till you've had some success before you start touting your abilities. So my suggestion is find people that run a martial arts school the way you want to run it. They live the lifestyle you want to live. Pay those son of a guns, and then shut up and listen to everything they say until you catch them. Okay, the next announcement, I'm pretty excited about this. I've been working on what I think is something that'll be beneficial to the martial arts organization, the martial arts world, martial arts community. That's what it is. I've always wanted to get a group of people together, like when I had all my schools. We had so much power when we had 20, 25 schools. We could do anything with that strength of numbers. I started a company. It's called Easy Marketing Center. And the purpose of this is to make the marketing easy for school owners. It's also based around the concept of a co-op. I am going to be 66 years old this month. I'm not interested in running a huge organization again. I'm not interested in running a big company. I'm interested in getting a few dozen people together that really want to drive their martial arts schools either to a higher level or get more personal time, or just put the darn thing on autopilot. And I got to admit, I've worked pretty hard over this last year on this program. So we're just getting it out. Right under here is where you can look at it. And just for an FYI, it's kind of for me and my friends. And when I say friends and acquaintances, if you know me, if we've had some interaction, sure, we'd be glad to have you on board. If I don't know you and we haven't had a chance to work together, this probably isn't the program for you. So that's out if you want to take a look at that. And the next announcement, Cause Talks. The website is up. It's right here below us. Now listen, we've got 90 seats for attendees. I know these are trying times, so what we're going to have people do is make a $100 100% refundable deposit to save your seat, and we'll save your seat and we'll save your hotel room. And from there, if something happens, you have, I think it's till January 15th to cancel. So let's get this thing filled up. Man, I don't want to turn away anybody this year, but I can, based on the great time we had last year, I think this thing's going to fill up pretty fast. So I want to give everybody a heads up. So once again, hopefully I've got the thing working down here. Fantastic. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you guys later.